All right, and here we are. We got another one. This time sent in by Dragon Eggs I Love You, the Zerg player up in the top left corner, playing with the blue pieces. And then down here, we have playing the red pieces. This is the Terran Focus. So let's see what is going on with these two players. I Love You is also known as Calm Horizons. Um, has sent me this replay. Usually a Terran player, but has been on a bit of an off-race tear lately. So I'm curious to see what goes on here. Should be pretty entertaining, I think. We've got some drones being made here, so we know it's not a 12 pool, which would be insane versus Terran anyway, but that's okay. You never know. Looks like pretty standard out of focus over here, and pretty standard out of I Love Ya. So yeah, TVZ, the only matchup that anybody respects. Going to be interesting to see how it goes. And you know, I'm going to wonder, is this going to be one of those matches where we understand why that is? You know, as a Protoss player, I don't understand TVZ at all. The units just move around and stuff just dies. And so I don't, you know, this is a brave new world for me. Um and so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Got an SCV coming over to scout. Little sus, but I guess it gets there slightly before the Reaper. I'm not sure what adjustments get made. I guess okay, yeah. Yeah, he can decide, like, does he have a hatchery before he puts his command center on the low ground? All right, yeah, I like it. I like it. Good little scout there. Um, and we got the Reaper coming out, we got the Orbital coming out, and the command center comes down. So yeah, okay, I actually do. I like that. I like that. Because it is definitely nice to have your CC start on the low ground. It saves a lot of time. So I can see why that's going on there. I Love You probably wants to pull into gas at this point, I would imagine, especially since he got like a long distance mining guy over here and stuff like that. So that's a little unfortunate, but oh well, gas is kind of for nerds. And so he is going to get this third hatch quite quickly, I believe. Hiding it from the Reaper while he saves up money. I like that. I like that. Very sneaky. Because the Reaper, yeah, he's probably going to go check the third base. Oh no, he's just going to go straight into the natural. Straight into the natural. Lings do pop. Let's see what happens. Pulling the Lings out. Oh, pulling them back on creep, which I always think heals them. I always think like, oh, they're on creep. Okay, they're going to be healing now, but it's like it just doesn't happen. They're just faster. Does get this CC down, or the CC does get that hatch down without any interruption, and we're running. Looks like Focus might pick off a nope, does not pick off a drone, and does ultimately get driven off. So that's a good little engagement for both of them. Nobody lost anything, and no tears were shed nor blood. You know, always nice to see. Coming along here, building an orbital command, all that good stuff. Reaper hiding in the bush. I actually kind of like this, hiding in the bush instead of hiding out there. So if they just A-move some Zerglings past it or something, they don't like find him. Going back here, I Love You waiting for him right up at the top, but doesn't quite get where he's going to come in from. Does start chasing him around, though. His link speed, now 1,000 years into the future, is beginning. It should be done sometime before the next Ice Age sets in, which is always good. Queen's going to be able to defend against this Reaper here, and I don't think he has a way out. I think this is a dead Reaper. Queen decides to attack her own. Oh! Just barely gets out while old Brando was attacking her own creep tumor. Is that matricide or is that infanticide? When you shit something out of your own body and then it takes on a life of its own and then you try and murder it? Is that bad? Is that bad to do? It's probably bad to do. Don't do that. Don't do that, Brenda. Um, Now I Love You. Just droning on up, And we got this big wall here. Not electing for the eBay wall. Gonna put his eBay somewhere safer, like for example, nowhere. It's just going for a straight up 3 racks. It's just a straight 3 racks. It's like a TVP 3 racks. That nope, no factory, no starport, just mariner. Just pure marine 3 racks. That's an option. So you're allowed to play this way. We'll see if I Love You allows it. But Focus is doing it and is within the rules. So yeah, often not a recommended build versus Zerg, but also, the wonky stuff that hits hard and hits fast it's hard to hold, and it's the kind of thing you really want to scout, or else it'll be difficult. I mean, let's see, is this a spore crawler? It's a spore crawler going down. So right now we got I Love You building spore crawlers, in the face of an opponent who's about to show up right at his front door with something like 15 Marines. Um, Queen coming in, oh, instantly gunned down, and that is a lot of Marines. Another Queen coming in, just picking away at these, but that is so much DPS. They haven't even had to stim yet, which is really good to be getting this much damage for focus without being able to bait out any stims. Another Queen basically for free. Now, all this damage is permanent, sure, but looks like he's going to pick off another Queen and another Queen. All the Queens for a single stim gets focus, and that is devastating damage. I Love You going to be pulling his drones off into the corner. Ling's up there, but that is way too many. No, he doesn't even force out another stim. That was still the last same stim. I think Focus might have taken some stims to be doing some of this stutter stepping when why stutter step when an A move will do? But oh well. Does I Love You making a lot of Lings here is going to be able to at least threaten the army of Focus, but yeah, it looks like he's not going to be able to break him on that ramp there. It's a smart position. I mean, he could maybe like surround him, but he's not going to be able to beat him head on that ramp there. So Focus is able to kind of commit halfway between staying on I Love You's side of the map and then finally does decide to leave. I mean, these Lings could be killing those. Those are pretty low Marines, but doesn't really want to be killing them while they're stutter stepping back. Would have definitely liked to have gotten us around at some point. So unfortunate that those do escape, but fortunately for I Love You, he is still not dead. So if we look around here at units lost and income, doing great. And over here on the production tab, we do have quite a few little workers coming in here. So long as you just enable the music. So long as just what you have to do. Baneling next coming out here. And yep, more Marines. There's a man who loves Marines. He's a focused kind of guy. What's he focused on? Command centers, Marines, which I can respect that. And he's focused on these Marines, going all the way up to 8 barracks already, and 2 factories, which is going to be pretty interesting. One of them with a reactor. Let's see if that's going to get swapped off or if he's going to start building anything out of there. Whereas I Love You here on Ling Bane, just straight up Lings and Banes, which are good units. So I'm here for it. I feel good about this. Workers on both sides doing pretty good. Checking back at the income again. Slight advantage for I Love You, but a significant gas advantage for Focus. So yeah, but that all tracks. I Love You getting his gases set down right now. And looks like he's going to be trying to crank out as many Banes as possible. Just got his second Evo chamber down. And yeah, a lot of Queens over here. And sending out some scouting Zerglings, trying to see what's going on. And it looks like we're going to see a biomine push here out of Focus coming across the map. Let's see how this works out. Got 4 medevacs and roughly a whole shitload of Marines. So if we're coming on along here, units lost way in favor of the Terran right now. But that's par for the course, though not quite like this. Not like this. Popping into the production. Oh, that was pause. Same thing. And yeah, holy moly though, big fight, lots of Banelings coming in. Zerglings get the surround on just about everything. Ooh, a few of them do end up in that Marauder there, which is unfortunate. If they had just ran right by. Oh, the Queen's making a wall and letting it in. Oh, no, but Focus, just enough. Barely pulls back. Units lost there. Definitely a bit more even now for the two, but still a 2,200 lead for Focus. So great to see for him. However, now Calm Horizons at this point does have a more thoroughly mining base. So that's also definitely going to be good for him. Cranking out a crap ton of Banelings. And we got the Queens coming out over here. Not a ton of creep spread, but it makes sense. Off racing, it's not always you don't want to be focusing on that kind of stuff. But it is still happening. It's definitely happening, which is great. So we're coming on over here. Lings, Banes, Those Lings are gonna have a bad time. Those Lings are gonna have a bad time. Yep. But they do pull a little bit of tension, but they just got a little bit too far ahead of their roly-polies there in order for that to be a good engage. He is sneaking around though, does buy enough time to crash on in here, and let's see if these Banes can make their way into this mineral line. Few Lings distracting over there, and boomba, boomba. Oof, that's a lot of damage. Splitting the SCVs against the Banes actually pretty slick there, out of focus, but does still take quite a bit of damage. So yeah, the supply or the units lost gap is widening, but it is still nonetheless affordable. And given the fact that I mean now both of them are on 4 base, another big Bane hit, but those ones are cleaned up for free. So yet again, good trades for focus coming in here. But I love you just mining like a madman. Got 4 bases saturated. This one's probably about run out. Yeah, it's halfway. And we got the Overlord pack here right in the middle. Always good to see. And Ling Bane. And let's see what Focus is building. He is building more bio and more mines. Yep. Cranking bio, cranking mines, cranking mines. Oh, why did he build this? Like a siege tank, maybe? Who knows? Or drilling claws, maybe? Um, but yeah. So we've got the he's hiding the army there to see if he can get him to overcommit onto creep. Nice move. Oh, Bane's considered tracking in. Now they're gonna be coming in from the side right into that soft marine underbelly, but oh my god! Those were some mine hits. Holy moly. And the resource loss gap up to 6k at this point. That was absolutely devastating. There was a point there where I love you really had, I believe, a pretty strong army supply advantage there, but holy mother of mine massacre. That was crazy. However, it's still, for whatever reason, Focus did lose enough to some pretty good Baneling hits here and has decided to go back. I feel like he could have gotten a little bit more done there, but, you know, it's all right. We got observers morphing over here. Gonna try and check out a bit more of the bases. And again, I love you just taking yet another base. Whereas, Focus, even though he should ostensibly I mean, he's been trading so well, but he's just doesn't have the same level of presence on the map and is just letting I love you do whatever he wants at this point, really. Which is, of course, make Zerglings and Banelings. Um, Coming over here, I mean, he's using. Sometimes he's using these bio kind of like it's like siege tanks. Like he's got to keep it at home. He's got medevacs. Like you got to be on the map. You got to be trading that medevac energy out, man. You got to be. Oh no, not like that. What are they doing? What are they doing? No, no, marine medevac. Why did that medevac die? To save that marine? No, no. Oh well. Busting down some rocks, which is of course great for Zerg. Um, but you know what? Choices are choices, and sometimes you just gotta make them. Gives us a nice shortcut straight from the creep, straight on down into the relatively undefended planetary. But this is a massive ball of bio. It's a massive ball of bio in mines. The mines are gonna start burrowing as they move forward in a little concave there, and a big hit on the Banelings. Oh no, that was massive. But I love you coming around from the side with a nice surround, pulls back, and that was pretty devastating. He's got a lot of Banelings left, but that was a good fight from Focus. Just kept it calm, kept focused, and I love you could not break that position. He lost a lot of Banes to those mines, which is why, I mean, mines are so good against the Ling Bane's kind of style, because one mine just absolutely devastates so much of the army if you don't wind up splitting it out. They're much better against Protoss probes, but they're fantastic against Zerg armies, especially these Ling Bane ones. And let's see what kind of things are going to be coming out. We've got 11 more Banelings, and we've got 3-3 on the way for our Terran Focus here. It cleans up that base. However, he doesn't know probably there is a whole other base over here. Got a little Ling walk by here, not an aggressive one perhaps, but does at least let him know there is in fact bunker there. So that's good. Focus, despite the fact that he had this massive army supply advantage, he's just like content to hang out. Maybe he spent a little bit too much time watching Vibe, and he's like, no, you have to max out at 200 before you can actually move across the map or something. I'm not entirely sure, but is deciding to go back and sort of rest on his laurels a little bit here. Whereas I Love You is still cranking. He's still cranking units, which is always great to see. We got 2-2 out of I Love You with 3-3 on the way. And there's a slight upgrade advantage. I think that Focus is going to get his a little bit faster, but nonetheless, still doing a fantastic job for both of them. Both of them basically maxed out on essentially mid-game armies. Though we are getting to the point where whoever starts making the right tech switches here is going to be able to get a significant advantage. And these Marines are just in position. They're right in between where the army would be and where the rest of them want to be. So does finally realize and is going to send the avalanche of Ling over there. It looks like a fluid. It looks like a flute. That's a lot of Marauders. Those Banelings going to crash right in. Hulk mode initiate. And that does clean it up excellently. Great fight for ILY at that point. Let's see. Does that actually still tie up the resources? Not even close. He's still down 11k. But that was a good fight and does actually give him the point at which he can now feel like, okay, now I can kind of be where I want to be, which is for the moment at home, but nonetheless that's got to be a huge relief for ILY to no longer have to deal with any of that army. I mean, that was a total decimation there. And yeah, just building 4 bunkers, just 4 bunkers in a row. Not depots, just 4 bunkers. Why not? I guess you can salvage them. Who knows? ILY coming in here. Creep is starting to get dangerously close to Focus's base and just immediately rebuilds, which I always love to see. I mean, if a base goes down, you already decided you wanted that base. Rebuild it right now. Makes sense. I mean, I'm partially yelling that at me as much as I am anybody else, but the best time to build a base was 60 seconds ago, but the second best time is now. So Ultralisks coming out for ILY, and over here we've got Mass Mine coming out and Liberator Mine. So Focus is going to transition to the mental damage setup where he's really just going to try and, big mine hits on those Lings. Hasn't cleared up any of the Banes. The Banes go into the, oh no, not the mines, that's a lot of Banelings. Is going to get this command center, is going to probably clean up. No, the SCVs are going to get zoned out because that is just too much bio there. Those mine hits were absolutely devastating. And, yeah, I'd say that was still good for ILY. If only for the fact that Focus is just not building that many CCs. He doesn't have a fresh one to fly down yet. He doesn't have this base. So that was a significant portion of his economy. And for somebody on, 58 workers, you want to be able to mine off of 3 bases, but this one is empty at this point, right? So he's not even being able to mine with all his workers. This one's almost gone. So really, I mean, he's massively oversaturated here, 27 out of 8. And at this point, Focus's income is absolutely throttled. We've got another big wave of Baneling and Ultra coming in. You did start seeing some Liberators, which are fantastic against these units on account of they don't exactly shoot up. But nonetheless, going back and forth, and is going to commit into towards the natural. Nope, not quite. Does see that sensor tower, so Focus does know he's here, but just oh no, though. That Sim City is causing them all to just line up to pour through there, and oh no, devastating for ILY. Does clean up all the SCVs on that back base, so that was only 6 or so, and then these Lings are going to get slopped away. 54 to 80 workers now, with both close to max supply. ILY actually maxed, but the income is definitely in favor of ILY. He's mining nearly 2 times the 2.5 times rather the minerals and 4 times the gas. So ILY's eco at this point, I mean, he can just afford to just start sending wave and wave of whatever, and you just see all these bunkers. Wow, good bunking. They were debunked, one could say, and a little bit of move command fiesta there. Love to see it. The more time you spend move commanding in a Liberator zone, of course, the more internet points you get. So ILY never one to shy away from internet points. 3-3 finished for both ones. 3-3-3 for Focus has his mech attack upgrades. And Focus is just not really in a position to be able to be building very many units. I mean, his production is just sitting idle, and a lot of it's because he's just out of minerals. He has so much gas, but if he just keeps producing all this bio, it's hard to produce bio out of that many things and also still produce and spend all your gas. So he's really got to be kind of prioritizing gas units at this point. But there's really not time to do much of anything because his income is just so much smaller. And at this point, I think ILY can really just kind of grind him out. Focus's army supply is still higher, even at 180 than ILY's is maxed out, given the fact that ILY is on 88 workers. But just going to go right back in with another wave of Ultraling Bane and just crash onto whatever base gets set up like a tidal wave, I think is ILY's plan here. He's just going to go for this sort of inexorable smashing, I think. But a big setup here. Mine Liberator, very hard to chunga through with a bunch of Lings. And we do see a nice kind of little side engagement here, but the Banelings wind up kind of just awkwardly going around, and he doesn't quite get in there. Loses all the Lings, and oh no, it's a disaster. Almost nothing gets done. Does finally the Ultras. Oh my god, Hero Ultralisks right at the end there, and the one Baneling that actually connected did do quite a lot of damage and really hampers the ability of Focus to actually convert this into anything meaningful. We got the investors with full energy just kind of waddling their way over towards whatever's going on. Not sure how I feel about that particular engagement, but God, that's a lot of Liberators. So we are at a point where ILY is really going to want to have to build some Corruptors, some Mutas, something to deal with these Liberators, because even if he does have this much eco, I mean, he can't keep trading this bad forever. Um, for a long time though, mind you, for a long time. Um, so I guess that's something. I mean, 5 minutes of mining like this, and that gets him another entire game's worth of bad trading for free, just for all the mining. So I mean, I guess there's something to it. More festers coming in here. Let's see if these festers are actually going to do anything, or if they're going to just use their high HP pool to do some tanking. Yeah, those are 90 hit points of pure solid, just rock hard uh, tanking potential. Ooh, nice little split there. Takes out that Widow Mine, or it tanks away that Widow Mine, and just a mass of Banelings. So this is a fantastic way to kill a bunch of Marines. However, it's not the best way to kill a bunch of Liberators, which is largely what Focus has decided to pivot into. We do have Speedy Lisks now. Love to see them. They got the zoom. They got the zoom. The five Marauder army scaring off ILY a little bit there. We're gonna see if he might be able to use these Banelings to just bunga into the planetary fortress. And there's only one Liberator here, but Focus actually quite quick about transitioning his Liberators and forcing ILY to either have to commit into lib zones or to just have to keep moving around and keep moving around. So it's essentially with ILY, it's what do you want to trade your army for? Fungal some Liberators, the bio, Fungal's the bio. But that's a planetary fortress. The few Banelings do get to go off. These Ultras are eventually going to get it, but they need to be hitting those SCVs, not that planetary. They need to take those SCVs out. Got a couple of Fungals on them, and it looks like they are going to be walking around. And like I said, is he going to trade this base for anything? And it does look like he's going to trade it for most of the workers that Focus had. He's all the way down to 31 workers now. He was oversaturated on that base, and he's oversaturated now. So not sure exactly what that means, but what it definitely means is that one way or another, Focus's mining is in the dumpster, and ILY is already at more supply than he started with, so, or rather more supply than Focus, despite that absolutely disastrous fight. But, he killed a lot of his eco, means that it's going to be that much harder for him to actually do it. But, I mean, Focus is just so weird. He's playing Bio Lib Mine, but then he's not building like a real late game army composition. But then he's just hiding. He's got a planetary fortress full wall. Like, my God, yeah, that keeps that base safe. But at this point, it's only got 8 mineral patches left on it. Like, you need another base. You got to go somewhere else. I mean, this bio here is gonna get, it looks like, taken out. It's a trade again, but Focus at this point really can't be doing trades. And actually, ILY gets out with most of his army. And these libs, while great defensively, are having a difficult time really converting their advantage right now. So it can be a little bit troublesome. Um, And we got a couple mines out here. We have got the ultras, more ultras. I mean, it's when you're mining this much more than your opponent, I kind of get it. It's just like, well, just keep making units, just keep making units, like, cause really you just do need to keep making units, and ILY is just not letting him breathe at all. And when he does let him breathe, he doesn't really do anything with it. Still hasn't gone to bother to take this base, despite the fact that it's right there. Instead, he's opted to just wall himself off from that side of the map, allowing ILY to expand all the way out here. I mean, the sheer amount of coverage at this point by ILY is just dominating, and it's going to be a bit of a miracle if he doesn't pull this one through. But he does have to, like, Libs will trade infinitely with Ultralisks if given the opportunity. So he does have to figure out some way in which he can break these Lib lines. Again, I would like to see some mutas. I would like to see some Corruptors, something in order to try and push those back. Because then at that point, once these Libs are cleared up, I mean, Focus has nothing. He just has this. He has this little clump of stuff. And I mean, the mines can get cleared up with the Overseer pack. And I mean, it's got so much of a disparity at this point. I mean, you could just be cramming your Banelings into Marauders. Like, it doesn't even matter. Because you'll just remax right away. He's already starting to bank up, though the mining is slowing down a little bit. And if we check back over at the production tab, we've just got +1 air weapons on the way. And it does look like then that, yes, the Corruptors must be here already. So that's going to be interesting. Goes in a little bit early, but that does free up a little bit of supply for more Corruptors in case that's what he's going for. He's got a few over here, but that's not really enough to, like, expeditiously clean up all these Liberators. And we don't want Focus, if you're ILY, you don't want Focus to start cranking out Vikings or something like that to counter your Corruptors. Though at this point, I mean, Focus is devoting any of his resources to anything other than defending what's going on. I mean, look at where ILY space is. Look at this. Like, this is, it's going down. Like, yeah, but like, it was there for a while. Like, it was there for a while, and sieges up the ramp. Gonna make it a little bit difficult for ILY to come down if he doesn't want to take at least a few casualties. But as soon as this Corruptor Ball starts to clump together, he's gonna be able to just go in there and just start devastating those Liberators. And then, Focus is gonna have to engage with them. And then once he decides to engage with them, the army just collapses right on down, and it's A move time, baby. Just blasting everything. Banelings go through. They're all immediately dissolved on who knows what. But it doesn't even matter. That is so many Ultralisks. And while he does have a Marauder-heavy army, and the Ultras definitely don't want to be traipsing through all of these Liberators, that is so many Corruptors that he's going to be able to do this all day. And a quick Remax does actually finally clear that base up so that he can take it, which is great to see for Focus, but a little bit less great on the fact that he is going to be shoved back once more by these Ultras here, right as the Lings come in to reinforce, which is going to make it an awful lot more difficult. Going to get pushed away, and we're going to see if he just goes for it, if he just keeps trying to strangle him. Because it's like, Focus is just trying to not die, and I Love You is just trying to just not let him breathe. And so between the two of their play styles, it is just an alive but absolutely emaciated Focus that remains. And GG is called. Well played, you guys. That was a banger. Thank you, Calm Horizons, for sending in that replay. Super fun. And yeah, see you next time.